We live in a society that encourages many to disregard human biology, that God's creation does not determine anything, but how you identify is all that matters. This is coming from the highest levels of government, and it's filtering into our classrooms. It's invaded sports. It's everywhere. And, one area where this has never been more important is the left's attempt to erase women in the name of transgender rights. Now, this has led some members of Congress to introduce a Women's Bill of Rights to reaffirm legal protections for women. Now, I never thought I would live to see the day where Congress would have to pass legislation defining what a woman is. Joining me now to discuss this is Congresswoman Mary Miller. She serves on the House Committee on Education and Labor, the House Agriculture Committee. She represents the 15th Congressional District of Illinois. Congresswoman Miller, welcome back to the program.
Good afternoon, Tony. It's great to be here. Long before I ran for Congress, I had listened to your program while I was on the farm raising my children, and you've been such a beacon of truth, and I appreciate it. We need you more than ever.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And that before we get into this topic, you and I have had many conversations, and I know this is one that is, as a mother and a grandmother, breaks your heart. What we saw transpire in Texas yesterday, where 19 elementary school students and 2 teachers were shot and killed. We live in a society that has disregarded the value of human life. And it's all connected to these issues. As we move further away from God, we end up with these tragic results.
It's true. And I can't imagine the loss and the pain that families are feeling right now. And I know that my husband and myself and the children that I still have at home, we've been praying for these families and for the community. It's, unimaginable, but it's true. God's ways are perfect. We've kicked God to the curb, and we are going to continue to see the degradation of our society and chaos. This violence, confusion about sexual identity, the breakdown of the family, and it's just really, it's doing great damage to our society. And I am very thankful for the opportunity to be in this position, not just to vote in a constitutional way, in a way that helps my constituents, but also to speak up for our Judeo-Christian values.
And you're doing just that. And this bill that you have been a part, one of the lead sponsors of in the House with the Republican Study Committee, is not one I ever thought we would need. But that is to make sure that women are not erased. Tell our viewers and our listeners about this bill.
Sure. Well, first of all, Joe Biden and his administration, the Department of Health and Human Services, they are pushing this radical leftist ideology that you can just choose your identity. And then we have people in this administration that are confused as to what a woman is. So my colleagues and I have brought forth this bill. It's so practical, it's almost laughable. Obviously, for millennia, we've been able to define what a woman is, but now we've reached such a peak of intelligence and sophistication that we're confused as to what a woman is. Obviously, a woman
biblical.
Can bear a child.
Yeah, that sounds biblical. We become so wise we look like fools, thinking themselves wise. And you're absolutely right. I mean, you touched on this, but really, is this not an attack on God as our creator?
It's definitely an attack on God. And even, all of this is religious to the left. God created humans with this, we're created as physical, intellectual, and spiritual beings. And so when you kick God out, these people are filling that void with their form of religion. And, this is rebellion to God, just like, defining when life begins. Life begins at conception, defining the family, Just so many things. We've been in rebellion to God.
So, Mary, before we run out of time, how can folks support your bill?
Sure. Well, they can go to marymiller.house.gov, and we'd appreciate the support.
I know it's going to take a change in Congress to get a bill like this onto the floor, but it's very possible after November that we could see a vote on a bill like this.
Definitely. Well, elections have consequences, and we need to elect fighters out here. I mean, that's one of the reasons we love President Trump is he fought on the offense for the American people. He did fight for religious freedom and freedom of conscience, and we appreciated it.
And you continue to do that, and we appreciate that as well. Mary, always great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on today.
You too. Thank you, Tony.